What's going on, y'all? So I want to show you how I use mono buses in Studio One version 3. Mono buses was amongst the top of the feature requests that I had for version 3, so I'm very glad to see that it's been added. So when I first suggested that as a feature request, someone said, well, why would you want to use a mono bus? So I'm going to show you now. With mono buses, I'm able to use mono tracks that I send to a mono bus with my analog gear. A lot of my analog gear I have is single channel, therefore I can't process stereo sounds with it. And in version 2 Studio One, all the bus channels were stereo, so I couldn't use a single channel of my gear the way that I used to use them in Pro Tools. So with mono buses now added to version 3, I can use for example, I'm showing you here my Empirical Labs Mike-E. I like to run drums and vocals through the Mike-E. The saturation on the Mike-E makes things sound thicker. Let's quickly talk about the Mike-E. It's a channel strip, a very clean mic pre, and it's got a compressor and saturation together. So by running drums through it, I can make them thicker, as well as vocals. I can make vocals thicker by running them through the Mike-E and using the compression. So a great example of another reason how I use mono buses is, for example, on vocals, Jashayla songs that I mix, she always gives me the lead vocals on 2 separate tracks where she's stopping and starting on another track. Using a mono bus, I can take those 2 individual tracks, send them to a mono bus, and process them both through the Mike-E or any of my other single channel gear. Both of those tracks at the same time because it's going through a bus and it's mono. Again, if it was stereo, I would only get sound out of the left channel. So let's look at the Mike-E. I'm going to play this drum loop. This is from a mix from an artist named Son of Jazz that I did. And this is just the loops through it. It's a kick and a drum loop. I've got it all going to a mono bus, and I'm going to process that through. I'm going to process that with the Mike-E. And actually, before I show you the Mike-E, let's first look at how do you create a mono bus in Studio One. All you do is take the channel mode and click it. That icon is stereo, and that one is mono. So when you create your bus, I believe by default it's going to go into stereo, and then you just select that to make it mono. Same way with the channel mode, it's the same exact thing, making it from mono to stereo. Okay, let's check out these drums through the Empirical Labs Mike-E and see if we can find a setting that we like. So you can hear, even with a 1-to-1 ratio and no compression, just adding saturation, how the Mike-E can really thicken up drums. That's why I love to use it on drums, and I love to use it on vocals. So if you have a piece of analog gear that's single channel and you want to run multiple tracks through it, the best way to do that is to use a mono bus. Send those tracks to a bus, make it mono, and then put pipeline mono on it in Studio One, and you can process multiple tracks multiple tracks at once, like I've done with these drums here. All right, so that's how I use mono buses in Studio One version 3. All right, I'll catch y'all next time.